What's up, Urban Acolyte family? My name is Prince, and I am one with all of you. So may the force be with all of us. And this is another episode of Star Wars Chats. And in this video, or in this episode of Star Wars Chats, but it is a video, I want to talk about this Supreme Leader Snoke speculation that I came across. I got it as an article, but the article cites a video by Mike Zeroh as its source, right? So basically it says that Supreme Leader Snoke will betray Kylo Ren and embrace Rey. So I actually have not seen Mike Zeroh's video on this, but he says that Supreme Leader Snoke is going to play a major role in Star Wars Episode 8. Well, I mean, he is the big bad, so you can't really have a plot without the villain. Like, the villain is the most important part. So, I'm kind of poking fun. All right. So the article says that the theory posted by the Star Wars fan suggests that Snoke may end up betraying his apprentice, Kylo Ren, and entice Rey to defeat or kill him at the end of the movie. Mike Zeroh based his theory on a scene from Episode 7, Star Wars The Force Awakens. One of the scenes showed Rey hearing a voice in her mind that tells her to kill her opponent during a fight with Kylo Ren. He has theorized that it was Snoke who instigates Rey to beat her opponent. This has further raised speculations whether Rey would end up killing Kylo Ren in Star Wars Episode 8. That is, Snoke may plan something similar to what Emperor Palpatine, the article actually says Leader Palpatine, so that's not me being a dumbass, to what Emperor Palpatine once did to betray Dooku in one of the previous episodes. Star Wars The Force Awakens also provided a glimpse of Supreme Leader Snoke's keen interest in Rey. This became quite evident in a scene when Kylo Ren tells Snoke that the Force is strong with Rey, and he orders him to capture her and present her before him. The same interest is expected to continue in Star Wars Episode 8 as well. Kylo Ren will complete his training in the movie and become powerful enough to beat and capture Rey and present her in front of Snoke. Snoke, on the other hand, would instruct Kylo Ren to bring her before him and not to kill or harm her. Rey may be injured, but will remain alive until the end of the movie. All right, so I have a few things, and it's not my intention to debunk Mike Zeroh's article. Originally, I kind of glanced at this while I was in my car, not while I was driving, but I was parked somewhere, and an alert came up on my phone, and I happened to kind of glance at it. But the first thing, all right, so when Rey hears the voice in her mind, right, that's telling her to kill Kylo Ren, in the audiobook version of The Force Awakens, the voice that she hears is the same voice that's used for Snoke. Now, this presents a interesting question, because a lot of people who heard that have wrote and asked me, is that Snoke? Well, I don't have the audiobook version, but I have to go with what they say, and all we can assume is that whoever is the narrator of the audiobook version, whatever voice they used to voice Supreme Leader Snoke, they also used it to voice that particular voice that's in Rey's head. Now, the way I always looked at that, and even after hearing that, it's the same voice used for Snoke, is that Rey is, when Kylo Ren is saying, I can teach you the ways of the Force, when they're in their blade, the blade lock, before Rey closes her eyes, and she remembers what Maz Kanata told her. Close your eyes, the Force is all around you, just let it in. Maybe she didn't say that. That's in one of the trailers from something that got cut, right? But she lets the Force guide her. Now, the light side of the light is all around, but the light also goes with the dark. So she's moving with the Force. She's doing the whole light side thing. There's the dark. The temptation is always going to be there. And that's the way I looked at that particular scene. I didn't look at it as Snoke has some kind of telepathy, because I don't think telepathy, like where you can push thoughts into people's heads, is part of like, yes, the Force, there's Force suggestion or the mind trick, but And I'd have to look into some of my resource stuff that's technically not canon material. But I don't think telepathy, where you can start, telepathically speaking to people, is in Star Wars yet. So that would be a new ability, or at least the first time we've seen that ability in a movie. If Snoke does that, and then you have to read about it. You don't see it in the movie, right? You don't hear Rey hearing the voice of Supreme Leader Snoke, kill him, So that's the way I look at that scene. I don't think that Snoke was instructing Rey to kill Kylo Ren. I think that was her own dark side. That was her own urges, because at the start of the fight, when she's thrusting, or as some of you people say, she's showing her Palpatine fighting style, which she's not. She is using that lightsaber the way she would use her staff, and Pablo Hidalgo seems to indicate that in the visual guide for The Force Awakens. Her intentions are to kill Kylo Ren, right? When that fight starts, he hurt Finn. She doesn't know if Finn is dead or alive. This is the only person to ever come back for her, right? Finn is the person who came back, right? Her family didn't come back, right? So that belonging that she's seeking is ahead of her. She got kidnapped. Finn came back. And that is the belonging. That is one example of the belonging that she's seeking. So what Maz Kanata says has multiple meanings, right? And I thought about doing a video on that speech, and how what Maz Kanata is saying has double meanings that we won't even see until later. That's speculation, but I think that there'll be more than multiple meanings. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I don't think that was Snoke talking to Rey. I think that was the dark side within Rey, right? She's experienced the light. Now here's a taste of the dark, right? And another thing, the Ahsoka Tano novel mentions this. When someone first begins to awaken to their Force abilities, right? They are some abilities are very strong, it's like when you hear for the first time and everything is just super loud, right? Or you do something. I'm thinking of playing basketball after you lift weights, right? You have to adjust to being able to shoot that ball because you're so strong. You try to shoot and you launch the ball over the backboard, and your body has to adjust to your new level of strength, right? Same thing with the Force. You've got these gifted abilities. You can, move. Your reflexes are faster. You can do things that you didn't know you could do. And you have to adjust and learn to control that, right? So that's another reason why Rey is, beats the crap out of Kylo Ren. And if she's sensing the light strongly, then the dark is going to speak to her loudly as well, right? I spent way too much time explaining that I don't think Snoke was talking to Rey. I'm going to go on. So because I don't agree with this, and basically I would say that Mike Zeroh, if he has a video on this, I probably ought to go back and watch it to see if he addresses this, but he kind of contradicts himself in at least the person that wrote this article doesn't address this, that it contradicts a video that Mike Zeroh has already done. And I think Dash reported it. I reported it, that there is an alleged battle on Octu between Luke Skywalker and Rey against the Knights of Ren and Kylo Ren, right? And in that fight, Kylo Ren manages to disarm Rey, and he force pushes her over the side of the cliff. Luke Skywalker comes, lays the smack down on the Knights of Ren, and Kylo Ren possibly retreats. I did another video where I'd been reading some blog site, and I don't know the accuracy of that blog, but it says that Kylo Ren, after losing that battle, he executes the other members of the Knights of Ren. Now, maybe he comes back for Rey, and this could totally be, okay, I beat you once, now I'm going to beat you again and take you to Snoke. That's the only way I see this working. But because right now we've said, well, Kylo Ren beats Rey on Ahch-To and retreats. And what happens after that, we don't know. That could happen at the end of the movie. That could be a Force vision, a part of Rey's Force back vision, that I believe is we're going to get more and more parts of the Force back vision. And I think it's going to tell a whole other part of the story and fill us in on missing pieces as far as Rey's identity, her background, and what's going on with the Force, what led to Luke leaving to look for Ahch-To. And if you go with the Rey as the first Jedi theory that I presented in a video, you could even see how the Jedi Order originated in, the whole, maybe even the connection to Jeddah and Ahch-To and the first Jedi Temple. But that's getting like way, way off topic. My point is that this right now we have two fights with Rey and Kylo Ren, and episode 8 could have a lot of action, a lot of lightsaber battles, but I don't buy it. The other third point that really makes this unravel for me is where it mentions Snoke's interest in Rey. Snoke is more interested in Rey than Kylo Ren, and Snoke is going to betray Kylo Ren, this and that. I don't think that, right? Let's look at the context of what happened in episode 7. Rey is being interrogated by Kylo Ren. She resists Kylo Ren and gets inside his head. He goes to Supreme Leader Snoke and says, the girl resisted me. She is extremely strong in the Force, but she's untrained. She knows the location to Luke Skywalker. She has seen the map. Sorry about that. I'm getting excited because there are two things that are being missed here. Two things, and I'm going to point them out to you. Two. First one, Rey is extremely strong in the Force, strong enough to resist Kylo Ren, right? Which means they might be on equal level, right? Untrained, strong in the Force, untrained, possibly knows the location of Luke Skywalker. What does Snoke not want to happen? He does not want Luke Skywalker to return. He does not want a new generation of Jedi to be trained, right? The Jedi Order is gone. Luke Skywalker, because Snoke never says, let's go kill Luke Skywalker. He's like, okay, forget the map. Like, let Luke Skywalker stay a hermit. We'll take over the galaxy. Luke, you can do whatever the heck you want to do, right? As long as there's no Jedi to pose as some kind of threat to us, to restore hope to the rest of the galaxy, right? To maybe be able to take on whatever Force stuff that we're doing with the mystical branch of the First Order, right? There's no one to deal with that as long as we have no Jedi and Luke stays wherever he is, right? So you've got this girl who could potentially become another Jedi, who is strong enough at this point to best Kylo Ren, the master of the Knights of Ren and Snoke's best apprentice to date, right? So it's not, well, Snoke is more interested in Rey. Snoke wants to replace Kylo Ren. No, he doesn't. She is a threat. She is a potential threat. Let's eliminate the threat by pulling her. She doesn't know about the Force. Let's bring her to me. Let me seduce her into the ways of the dark side. Let's get her to jump on this team. We don't want her to join that other team. Look, we don't want Rey to take her talents to South Beach and win 2 championships with D Wade and Chris Bosh. We want her to stay here in Cleveland, and I guess that's a bad analogy because LeBron went back to Cleveland and freaking won a championship, right? Probably going to go to 3 finals. But you get what I'm saying, right? We don't want her to take her talents to South Beach. We want her to stay here, right? We want her to stay here on Starkiller Base. Jump on board with the First Order, become a new Knight of Ren, Kylo Ren or Raylo Ren or whatever Ren she's going to be. That's what I think Snoke wanted. So is Kylo Ren going to present Rey to Supreme Leader Snoke? You know what? That would sound too much like Return of the Jedi, right? That doesn't sound original to me at all. And I'm looking for an original story, right? Darth Vader brings his son Luke Skywalker to the Emperor. Palpatine pits Luke Skywalker up against his father to kill him, to turn him to the dark side, to become his new apprentice. So that he can wipe out the rebellion and go do his sorcery stuff back on Coruscant and become immortal. And Luke Skywalker is a more viable, more powerful apprentice than Darth Vader, who, failed when he got his limbs severed off, right? And was a disappointment. If you read into what Palpatine is saying to Vader, of course, he could have just been saying that to push Vader even deeper into the dark side, which I really think, like, if you're trying to become a god of the dark side and you need your apprentice to help, you need your apprentice to be as strong as possible, whether he's in an iron lung, literally an iron mask or not, I don't think mattered at all, right? As long as I think it was his connection to the Force that mattered the most. So like I said, I think that doesn't sound original to me at all. It sounds more like a rehash of what Palpatine was trying to accomplish in Return of the Jedi. But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think about what I presented? Maybe you've seen the video that Mike Zeroh presented all of this, and this article could have bastardized his video and messed everything up. I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to watch the video because I don't like to watch a lot of speculation videos, especially things. If this is what it is, I don't want to watch it. And that's not a slight against anybody's channel. Just that particular video is not something I'm going to want to sit through and watch. I just wanted to open this up for discussion. It was something I thought was worth talking about because I've really been wanting to really talk about that whole thing with Snoke talking to Rey, which I don't think happened at all. I think that was Rey dealing with the dark side in herself, right? But what do you guys think? So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll be checking to see what you all have to say. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Go ahead, make the commitment to using Star Wars to help you make real life changes in your life and in the community around you. Make sure to continue to support the channel by checking out some of my other recent videos that are posted. And that's all I've got for this one. So thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you always.